Okay, so there are two emerging locations in the island. Sorry, on the island. English hard, I beg. Anyway, I'm talking about Ibeju and Ekpe, and of course, wherever you decide to invest within the two locations is awesome. It is good because I mean they are emerging locations and it is rapidly gaining momentum. The much attention those two locations have from the government is appalling. Like you'll be wondering what they are up to, the way they are all about those two locations, Ekpe and Ibejuleke. I mean, but then investors find themselves in a kind of dilemma, wondering which one is a better option for them. So I just thought to do this quick comparison via video so that I can explain better because I did one yesterday, a written post comparing both locations, but here's a video where I will take my time to explain. So it might be a lengthy video, a little bit lengthy. I'll try as much as I can to make it as brief as possible, but I would not be leaving out any information. Sorry. So number one, Ibejuleki is very commercial, very commercial in the sense that we have the Dangote refinery, we have the Lekki Free Trade Zone, we have Lekki Deep Sea Port. There is the several other factories like Power Oil, like Kellogg's, and numerous other businesses. So that means that the Bejleki location or the axis is going to be, it's going to have heavy human traffic. And this is also going to attract more businesses as time goes on. Because of course, businesses like humans. So where they find plenty humans, that's where they go to pitch their tent. So you're going to have lots of recreational centers, you're going to have lots of like malls and the rest come around the Bejuleki in years to come. And that is why you should actually get yourself some plots. You might own the properties that these businesses will come and buy, you get. So heavily commercial, yes. And for Ekpe, it's the opposite. It's heavily residential. At least for now that we know of, Ekpe is going to be heavily residential, not a lot of commercials. Yes, talk about light commercials like schools, like malls, like recreational facilities and centers, like hotels, like resorts. Those ones don't bring in too much crowd per time compared to the kind of businesses that would be located at Ibejuleke. So yeah, that is that for that. For commercial, for Ibejuleki, it is heavily commercial. For Ekpe, it is mostly residential. So if depending on your purpose of purchase, you want to consider these options. Number two is in Ibejuleki, you can find waterfront properties. Properties with waterfront, beach view, lagoon front, all those kind of properties with that kind of view, like the one you have at Oriental Hotel and the likes. Yeah, you can find that at Ibejuleki, and they are becoming quite pricey now. They are becoming quite pricey, and Ekpa is 101% dry land mostly. What you get at Ekpe is mostly dry land. You won't easily come across waterland or wetland there because they don't have that much water. The only water they have is the one where people go to buy fish from, and that's about the regular lagoon water. Is it? It's normal water body. It's not like the land topography is wet, like you can find at Bejuleke. So dry land. So if you're because I know some clients who just come, I want dry land. So if you like dry land so much, go for Ekpe, So the next comparison is title. So you'd know already that every property, every land you buy comes with a documented title. So in the case of Ibejuleki, we might have a little bit of issues with the title because there is this heavy government interest in Ibejuleki because of the Dangote refinery, the Lekki Free Trade Zone, and the deep sea port, as well as the proposed airport that is coming that way. So of course, the government is going to always have interest in that area. So if you buy a property, landed property, and you do not perfect your title in good time, you stand the risk of losing that land. You stand the risk of losing that land because if at some point the government need more space for whatever project they are going to do, they would come and make their findings and notice that, oh, this land is still in our name, and they might take it away from you, and you know how it is in Nigeria. They might take it. So another problem is the excision. Most lands are excision in process. Most of the lands you're buying are excision in process. What this means is that the government hasn't expressly given residential permission. They haven't expressly given permission to people to own that land, to use it for whatever purpose they are buying it for. So, but you go ahead and buy because they market you and tell you it's safe, it's fine, this and that. When the government needs that property, they will come for it. Also, even the ones that have been excised are not freehold. There is something called governmental acquisition on properties. If the property has acquisition on it, the government can still come for it. It can take it off you. So if you're buying in Ibeju, make sure you're buying a good land that you know is excised or will be excised. Depends on the location. Within Ibeju, or will be excised. And the moment it is excised and you get your gazette, please pursue C of O as soon as possible. Pursue C of O. It's better you have your C of O handy than regret later. For Ekpe lands are mostly freehold. What that means is very residential, already excised. Most of them, 90% of the land expanse in Ekpe, mostly freehold. And what that means is you can go on and ask for C of O directly without first of all asking for excision and gazette. Without first of all asking for excision, you can just go straight up and ask for C of O or process C of O for your piece or pieces or expanse of land. So Ekpe land, in terms of title, they give you more peace of mind compared to that of Ibeju. Now, for Ibeju, it will be heavily populated. So if you're the kind that like peace, quiet, serenity for residential houses, Ibeju won't be it for you, because it's definitely going to have a lot of human population, a lot of look at all those businesses that it has. Obviously, these businesses are going to have staff, and they're going to need somewhere to live around, that's close to work. And that's going to mean a whole lot of houses, a whole lot of humans, a whole lot of occupants, So Ibeju is going to have lots of humans, like I said earlier. But Ekpe is going to be less populated because it's majorly residential. So think of Ikeja, for instance. There's the Ikeja Gugoliru, like Ikeja where everybody is, and then there's the Ikeja GRA. So think of Ekpe as the GRA of Ibeju. That's what it's going to be, because it's going to be a lot of estates for residential land. Of course, people want to push up their estates and make it as private, as serene, as quiet as possible. So that's going to be how it will be. Ekpe, less population. Ibeju, lots of population. There'll be lots and lots of people in Ibeju, but less of people in Ekpe. Ibeju is actually becoming quite pricey. This time last year, we could get a plot of land easily, not so far away from the the Lekki Free Trade Zone axis. We could get something for like 1 million, 2 million. But now, to get something for that cheap, you have to go really deep inside. Really, really, really deep inside. And you keep going and keep going. Sorry, I'm just trying to be as sincere as I can be. You keep going and going and going until you get there. But Ekpe is still very affordable. Nice locations, nice topography. Have you been to Ekpe? It's really serene and calming. And no, nothing is going to change. Of course, it's just going to be more urbanized than it is now, but I don't see a lot changing concerning the serenity and the fineness, and I call it green area for some reason. That place is green. Ekpe is fine, and you just want something in Ekpe already. If you have already, get more. It's a worthy investment. So without further ado, this is just to tell you that Ekpe and Ibeju are actually awesome locations to invest in. Now, with all my points, laid side by side. I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that anyone you settle for is awesome. You only just need to pick the right location for your purpose of purchase. Thank you.